Welcome back to Our Issues Birmingham. We're talking about transportation and things going on in the city of Birmingham with Kim Rafferty. So a couple things I have on my mind. One is I know that you're not really connected to this, but I see these little bicycle things popping up that are in other cities, and I'm seeing some just yesterday in Birmingham. They're gray, and what's that called? It's got a name.
Bike share.
Bike share. Is that in the future for Birmingham?
They're bringing it in as we speak.
And is that connected with what you do, or is that another entity?
Yes and no. It came through our committee, but it's more of a program that RPC is putting out there. And,
what's that, RPC?
Regional Planning Commission and Rev Birmingham.
Oh, yes.
And so we have the information for it, and we've supported the initiative. I hope it's successful.
Okay. You got some hesitation there? I worry about...
I asked about helmets the last time I got a presentation.
Yeah.
I was told that at the state level, helmets are only required for...
Motorized.
No, they're also required for children under 18. No, under 16, you have to wear a helmet. But doesn't it matter if we have a skull fracture?
Yeah, well,
that's my question.
But it's like seatbelts. I mean, you should wear your seatbelt, but should you be legislatively required to wear your seatbelt? That's a long...
Okay. That's a whole other argument.
Yeah.
What they did say is they were going to make the helmets available at hotels and other venues near where the bike sharing kiosks are. So that should resolve the issues for visitors that come in and get the bikes.
Where are these kiosks going to be? I'm concerned about crime.
Yeah,
and theft.
It's all in, to get the bike, you have to have a credit card.
Right.
And they're set up, I believe, in the downtown area on 20th Street, over in the Regents Park area, and probably in the UAB area. I don't know if they'll go as far as Lakeview District.
Okay, but they'll be.
But I haven't seen a map.
They'll be within the footprint of the city limits of Birmingham.
Yeah, it'll all be in downtown Birmingham. And I don't know if they're looking to appeal to tourists, because we really aren't designed for that type of a tourism. Like in DC, you have these tremendous sidewalks, and you have bike lanes everywhere and bike paths. Or if it's to get all of us people who sit behind desks to actually get on a bike and ride around downtown Birmingham rather than jump in our car and drive to Lakeview for lunch and drive back.
Yeah, perhaps.
Those kinds of things.
For those of you that don't know, the bike share is where you have some bikes that are available for your use. You pick them up in spot A and drive them to spot B and leave them. You don't have to keep them. Briefly, something near and dear to my heart, our airport. Any changes? We still are stuck right here.
They haven't said a word to me.
And they would be the airport authority?
Correct. We've sent 2 requests.
Who do I need to talk to about this dynamic? I need to get somebody on my show.
I would start with Michael Bell, who is chairman of the board, and see where that takes you. And
see if there's any light at the end of the tunnel for us to be able to get back to New Orleans, maybe nonstop. St. Louis, Louisville, we go nowhere without having to go somewhere else first. So that's kind of... Any other transportation issues going on, bus system?
That's kind of up in arms. We'll have to see what develops. I'd received some news this morning I need to flesh out before I talk about it. But the Port Authority's moving very well.
Do you mean the building they tore down? That was...
No, the intermodal facility. No, it doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with management and other things. The Tiger Grant that we've applied for. We're working on the Inland Port Authority at this point, and I've actually found some highly experienced people in the maritime profession that actually live in Birmingham that are willing to come and help us build this up, and the potential seems to be great.
These issues I was going to ask you in the last segment about 2059, and you mentioned the cost involved. Where is this money coming from for all of these things?
As far as 2059, that will be state and federal, because it is a federal highway. Now, if we do violate our ground level emissions, we could lose some of that funding.
Some of the federal funding.
Which means we'll lose the state funding as well. And I don't know how much of the state funding we get, which makes me nervous considering the inadequacy of our state budget.
Yeah, we don't have one. How's the budget in the city of Birmingham doing?
seems to be quite solid. Thank
It
you.
does? We're doing better?
We are about to. The council has acquired 2 tools that I requested that basically we're going to do a forensic, very thorough examination of our fiscal health, and not just what are we spending on doing the business of the city, but how much should it actually be costing us to do business of the city. I've noticed since I've been in council that we've increased our budget almost $15 million a year,
Wow.
but we're not getting a better bang for our taxpayer buck.
Are we getting revenue?
Oh, we're getting plenty of revenue, but our services are not being, we're not getting better at it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're there to help us get through this.
Thank you.
We need people like you. Thank you for your service. This is Our Issues Birmingham. I'm Tommy Spina. Today's guest was Kim Rafferty. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.